Okay, we got the bumper off finally. This is day 2 of the big project. Um, yeah, one day later, I think. Anyway, we took it off, and guess what? A bumper is not just a bumper, it is a bunch of pieces. So what we found out is there's 3 pieces that reinforce the shell of what I considered the bumper. So on the ends, there's little triangle pieces that stiffen the corners. In the center here is the big reinforcing rod. It's the majority of the way to the bumper. There's the end piece. And it goes only the middle third of the bumper. So it's our job, Daniel and I, to get this thing disassembled, which is, well, it seemed pretty easy. There's only 4 bolts for each side piece, and then there's only 2 bolts for the retaining plates for the main stiffener there during the center. So we're like, okay, no problem. Well, this video has been edited for brevity because it took yet another long stretch of time. I'm not saying it was overly complicated, but there's different layers. The plastic or polycarbonate pieces that protect the top of the bumper are layered. So we started with taking off the top polycarbonate layer because we couldn't get to the side pieces without it being off. And so it's got the press through clamps that you need to kind of jimmy to get off. And then we found all these mysterious little tiny fasteners, which I guess could be construed as more screws, but 3 of them were stripped and a couple were busted, but not beyond use, thank goodness. And so we got that off. You can see in the background the top main piece of the polycarbonate is now off. So we are going to attack the corner plastics and the corner triangle. So that's a corner plastic taken off. Now we have access to the screws that go inside the corner. So I think it's just 2 big bolts and then 2 of these triangle retained bolts. Now I'm just saying this for anybody's edification who's got to take one of these apart. Because nothing seems to make sense. Again, I didn't have a manual. I didn't know what things look like or how they worked, so I don't know how. I mean, maybe a person who has a shop manual would have done this in a way faster time with less effort. As I mentioned in the previous video, most things are 10 millimeter or 12 meter. This is a metric truck, but occasionally we'll run into something where it doesn't go. Now, 2 of the bolts that hold in the main reinforcing bar to the bumper shell were so rusted that even penetrating fluid wouldn't make a difference out of them. And what's not in this video is that I had to go to yet another neighbor to drill them out. And he had the kind of system that you could just blast through, cut it out, and then we tapped the holes. One, thankfully, all the little threads were fine, and we were able to use the same bolt in the hole. Other one had to tap out. Since he didn't have metric, it went to standard. So there's so many hours into day 2 that, well, I wasn't going to walk around and videotape the whole thing, but we definitely were doing some thinking about how to manage it. That's where I stopped and got the bolts out. Now, here we got all the bolts out and we're all happy. And this is the new shell. And I have already painted it 6 times with bed liner. The stiffener dropped right in, which I took as a good sign. And so we are just quickly getting everything in for a loose fit, not a tight fit. So you'll notice on the right side here by Daniel's knee, there's a slight bar that goes up, and that is a connector tightener. And I only have it on one side. I didn't want to try to fabricate anything for brevity's sake, because we sometimes need a second vehicle. And I noticed that this thing is so monstrously over-engineered that we decided against doing anything. But here we are attaching everything, making sure everything is comfortably fit and we can get all the screws and bolts in before we tighten everything up. And it's a lot of pressing and slightly angling, but by and large, whoever made this bumper, whether it be Chinese or American, did a great job off of probably the original casting or molding or some kind of 3D imaging, whatever it is. It's really nice, albeit the metal is incredibly thin. So hopefully these reinforcers and stiffeners will do what they were originally designed for. And so I think we're going to be okay. Um, anyway, so triangles go in, or the side stiffeners. I don't know what their technical name is. I'm just going to call them a reinforcing angle bracket. And once these go in, the plastic goes in. So I'm doing the plastic over. We decided to do one side altogether before we did the near side to the camera. And then I have all my bolts and nuts from the project laid out in what I thought was a consecutive order. And guess what? You just can't tell. So that's a bit frustrating. Anyway, there we go. We move forward, and now we're started on this side to get everything all tight. Now this is an abbreviated video, and I apologize for its incredible brevity, but in all actuality, a very boring job. Once we get those screws in, we're ready to put some of the polycarbonate in. Like I said, the ends have to go in first because it's a sandwich layer. And the next piece of the project will be to put the top polycarbonate in, which we do. I'm not sure that's captured in this chunk of video. And then poof, we're done. So we tighten everything up. That looks all good. And there's the polycarbonate. Yeah, well, that's this angle. Again, just before this ends, the battery runs out. So anyway, thank you guys for watching as we snap everything back together. If you like it, give it a like. You can subscribe if you want. I don't really produce too much media, and as you see, my editing is beyond horrid, but I love it when people comment about the horribleness of it all. So I will get busy editing day 3, which is non-existent because I ran out of charge on the camera. So I will do a quick video of the back of the truck and do a couple of still pictures maybe. I'm not sure what I have in my camera, but I'll get that done as quick as I can. Thank you all for watching. All right, have a good day. Bye-bye.